The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki.
Hello, here I am. Welcome to the Nikki Glaser Podcast. I'm Nikki Glaser. I'm here in St. Louis, Missouri in my home podcasting studio. My dream came true. You know, sometimes you put it out there in the world and you say, I want to live in an apartment and walk in the next room and have that be my studio. And sometimes you get a global pandemic that makes your dreams come true. I don't know. When I first thought of like having a studio in my own apartment, like I was like, Andrew and I'll just get a 3-bedroom and one of them will be a studio. I really didn't like think it would happen, to be honest with you. Like I thought that is a little bit of lofty of a dream. Not that that's like not achievable in many, like it's just not that, it's not dreaming. That's not shooting for the moon and landing among the stars. I mean, well, I just thought I wouldn't get it together enough to do it. Because most things in my life, I don't get together. The things that I say that I want or that I'm gonna, life never goes exactly how it's planned. I was saying this to someone yesterday. I've never predicted right about anything. You know, when you go, oh, you're worrying about something and you're like, this is gonna happen. And then I've never been right ever. Like, I mean, I've maybe been in the ballpark, like in the parking lot of the ballpark. But isn't that funny that we always are, you know, thinking about the future and what's going to happen and planning for the future when really I've never nailed it like even close to exactly. And I don't mean like this is going to go bad. Like, yes, sometimes I thought this is going to go bad and then it does go bad, but it always is in a way that I couldn't have, like the badness wasn't the kind of badness I thought. Why am I bringing this up? I don't know. Noah, how are you today?
I'm good.
Yeah? I feel like that was like a lie.
Well, okay, we were supposed to start video next week, and we don't lie. And today's Friday. We're recording the show because you have
that's
travel.
True. Yeah, so this is our first day of video, we hope.
We think.
Head on over to YouTube on videos are always going to be delayed a little bit on YouTube, but so however you like to listen to this, maybe you'll listen to the show and then you'll watch it, or maybe you'll just wait to watch it. You know, like we're not doing like breaking news on this show. If you want to wait a couple days and just watch it listen for the first time on YouTube, catch up on old ones now until 2 days later. And then I don't know what your sketch is going to be, but I do want to be honest with you. We don't lie on this show. Like Noah said, this is Friday and it's going to be airing on Monday. And then the video will be available Wednesday. We hope that's the tentative sketch. That's the projection. And as I said, we're somewhere in the parking lot of the ballpark getting, you know, screwed on some tickets that we thought the guy is gonna. Actually, I feel like scalpers, and I never get screwed in person, but I do get screwed on Craigslist, and it was worth it. Listen to a couple episodes ago. Anyway, yeah, it's Friday. I was thinking about this and being like, oh God, you know, when I listen to podcasts that are daily, do I get like pissed when it's like not really when they say it is, because it's more fun. If I'm a daily listener, I'm like, I want it as soon as when they're experiencing their lives. Listen, if you want to see us on the like live, go on our Instagrams. Andrew and I are always posting. You can like follow us around live. And then I go, actually, they would have never heard about Thursday from me, because by the time I get to Monday, I've forgotten what happened Thursday. I sometimes forget what happened on Friday and Saturday. You're only getting like the recap of the day before. So so now you're getting a treat that you get to find out what happened on Thursday to me, which isn't a whole lot. But I am going to Vegas this weekend, and I went to Vegas this weekend. Let's treat it like it's Monday. Seattle and Oregon, and the shows were amazing. I'm manifesting it. They were the best shows of my life. I came up with an hour of new material that is all just very specific, no no likes, just crushing, like very, I don't know what I'm saying right now, but actually I like my material right now. I don't want new material. I just want to work on the stuff I already have. I want to be grateful for what I already have. I was kind of thinking, like, what if I die in a plane crash and then this comes out like Monday? I mean, that's like the worst thought. But guess what? I've never been right about anything. So the fact that I'm thinking it, it's not going to happen. But what if it did? How weird would that be? If you're watching this video and you're like, oh my God, we lost her. The Norm death, deaths like that, especially in the comedy community or ones that feel close to you, always kind of make you think about your own mortality. I think that I don't know, man. The Norm, I'm like so grateful because I don't know that I would have ever gone on a deep dive of Norm or downloaded his book, and I'm gonna try to consume that this weekend. I don't know if I would have done those things had he not passed. Not saying like, oh my God, I'm so grateful that he died. Not saying that at all. There's just always like, and I was talking to a friend who was actually mourning Norm's loss, and he didn't know Norm. He was just a huge fan, like huge Norm fan, as is every white male in there from the ages of 32 to 50. Those men are going to need they're going to need your support. This, if you have a man in your life who's a fan of Rick and Morty, and what else? Does this do these kinds
Family
of people?
Guy?
No, I don't know. Family Guy, maybe. No, I think I think these guys are they're beyond Family Guy at this point. But like white guys, and I'm not doing this as like white men need your help. I'm making a joke about like men love Norm Macdonald. I used to say that like my ex-boyfriend. I'm gleaning this all from my ex-boyfriend, who I really trust his sense of his sense of humor is top notch, and he loved Norm Macdonald he is suffering this loss in a major way, and there's something beautiful about that for me because I get to see someone I care about like actually like being really emotionally invested in someone they didn't know, and I think he's seen me in the past cry over celebrity deaths or like. I remember we used to make fun of people that were like, Robin Williams died, I'm gutted. People would be like, I'm gutted. And we would laugh because if you're posting I'm gutted on Facebook, which is a very, like, I get it, you're very sad. What are you going to do when your mom dies? Or like, I'm double gutted. Like, where you got to have a bar for it. But you know what? I actually don't subscribe to that kind of notion anymore. And I doubt he does either because I don't think he knew how much he would be affected by Norm passing. And it's just sweet to see men who sometimes maybe don't feel their feelings or like feel not entitled to their feelings really upset about Norm's passing, because you know what it is? It's like, he was saying to me, my ex-boyfriend, we were talking about Norm, and he was like, I'm a big Elton John fan, Bruce Springsteen, like I don't consume everything they do. If they come out with a new album, I'm kind of like, I don't even like Jeff Tweedy. You can't keep up like. But he's like, there's something about Norm I was consuming everything he did right away. Like it was like me and Taylor Swift, but like on a lesser level for sure. I don't mean to like play like who's a bigger fan, but no one should be as obsessed with Taylor Swift as I am. And he said that he was very touched because people reached out to him immediately when Norm died and were like, are you okay? And he felt like, even though he didn't know Norm, that he felt like it's so nice that someone connects Norm with me. Like that, when you're a fan of someone, it's nice to be like, oh, if something Taylor Swift in the news and people, like when Folklore came out or Evermore dropped out of the blue, people were like, Nikki, did you hear? Right. Like, it feels good. Noah, do you have any celebrity or person maybe you've never met, let's say, or maybe you just, you've met a lot of your like favorite people, but someone you don't know personally that if they passed, you would need some like support getting through it?
I don't know. I think I've definitely been privileged enough to meet a lot of celebrities or musicians that I like through work. Yeah. I think though, with what you were saying before, like when people get really upset, I was thinking about it, and I think like with comedians, what I appreciate about comedy is how comedians interpret, and then talk about the world. And maybe it's just like not having Norm's point of view, especially now when there's like so much pandemonium.
Yes.
Like that's a great loss for people who enjoy his comedy.
He had a great set right at the beginning of COVID, right before things shut down. I really implore everyone to go watch it. You can just Google Norm Macdonald COVID set. And it's just talking about, it brings you right back to March 2020, or March probably 10th, 2020. And he's like, well, it's good to know what we're all going to die of. We just don't know what in what order. And he's just talking about I'm going to do jokes up here, but just know that I'm thinking about COVID, or coronavirus, he called it. In the early days, we were calling it coronavirus. I'm thinking about the coronavirus the entire time. And it was just, you're right. I always say that comedians aren't as special as musicians. I always want to be a musician because the emotions you can elicit from a song for someone seems to be more powerful and meaningful than a comedy bit. Although we all remember comedy bits, they kind of shift the way we think about things. Songs can do that too if they're the lyrics are good enough, but not as often because you don't get as many words. But I think that you're right. When a musician passes, you're not how am I want them to write a song about COVID, or I want them to write a song about Trump. I remember, so often I thought of Greg Giraldo during Trump times, all the time. Was what? I mean, I thought he probably wouldn't survive it because he would be so angry. I just pictured him on the Larry the Cable Guy roast going, why are you so famous? Just having a meltdown. That was one of the best moments. In addition to Norm Macdonald's roast of Bob Saget, which if you haven't seen as well, if you're not a Norm Macdonald fan, what are you doing with your life? I mean, go on a Norm. There's so many clips right now circulating. Just indulge in them. Even if you're I know this guy from SNL. I didn't care for him then. Just give it a chance because he has so many different facets. But I think you're right, Noah. That makes me feel good about being a comedian because we're valuable in the present. Musicians can capture a zeitgeist and a feeling of oh, the song takes me back to the 90s or whatever. But comedians need to process things for you in the moment. And that's kind of how we work. We work in the moment. That's why old material doesn't work anymore because people want to hear from us right away. And we don't want to hear about old stuff. We want to hear about, please help us understand what's happening right now. And I don't think we rely on musicians as much for that. So you just opened my eyes to a value I have as a comedian that I didn't realize because I'm always God, being a comedian is just not as cool as being a musician. Even though musicians all want to be comics all want to be musicians. And we both all think everyone else wants to be us. No, that really makes me excited to perform this weekend. And honestly, whenever I am inundated with a comedian stand-up who I probably avoid because it makes me feel bad that my own isn't as sharp or as unique or irreverent, especially Norm Macdonald, his brain worked in a way that you're just you can't 10,000 hours that, he was just born funny. It seems he's one of those guys. And I always say talent is hours put in. And there are definitely, I hate to use the word, facets of his talent as a comedian that were born of practice and repetition and working hard. But I think he's one of those guys that was just born kind of funny. And I don't mean to make this about myself, but it is the Nikki Glaser Podcast. I don't know if I was born funny, I always try to think about why, where did it come from? And my parents are funny, and did Maim by Alex, Maim, do you remember Blossom?
Yeah.
Big Bang Theory?
Maim
Balak. Sorry, she's a friend of mine, and I can't say her name. I get really nervous. But I just still don't know how to pronounce your last name, Noah. And I get really tense when I think about it. I know now it's Avior, right?
Yeah, you can say it anyway. I really don't care.
I know, but it's Glacier with me. I let it go if someone doesn't say it right. But my true friends, I'm really? But Maim and I are not that great of friends, but we know each other, and I did her podcast, and we were talking. She was where did your funny come from? When did you get it? And I always think I got it later when I was anorexic and I needed to develop a personality, and I just started acting like my friends who were funny. But I always knew what was funny. Conan shaped it. The SNL shaped it. My parents shaped it. My Uncle TV, Bob, shaped it. Michael Schur, my dad's friend, shaped it. People were funny in my life. But I Kirsten was sending diary entries the other day from her. She used to keep a diary every single day of of her life, pretty much. And so I'm all over her diary, and she has one from when we first met, and it says, oh, she just sent me another thing. I'm going to read this on the break. But she sent, oh, wait, where is it? Sorry. Okay, here we go. Wednesday, the 18th. She doesn't know the date. It says day Wednesday, 18. This is like 4th grade. Dear Diary, today in the morning we read Ernie and the Mile Long Muffler. In PE, we ran for 3 minutes. I tasted blood in my mouth. And she spelled blood, B-L-O-D-E, which I like. On recess, Casey said, since I cut my foot, I can't play soccer. Nikki said, but you don't even play. Which isn't that good of a joke, but it's just so funny to me that Kirsten in 4th grade noted that, like, this girl was like, I remember who Casey was. She was someone that I, like, wasn't scared to, like, just say that kind of stuff to. It's not like she was a dork or something, but I wasn't intimidated by her because I never, like, had an opinion in 4th grade towards anyone. I just wanted to be invisible. So it surprises me that I talked back to someone. But she goes, you know, in recess, I can't play soccer because I cut my foot. And I remember the kids who play soccer were, like, kind of cooler. And so if you played soccer, you were cool. So I guess Casey was telling us, like, I'm only not playing because I cut my foot. And I go, you don't play anyway. Like, I just, like, kind of, like, and that, those little nuggets to me are special because, I mean, kids are always funny. They say the darndest things. We know that from Bill Cosby and Tiffany Haddish. But not that those two are related in any other sense than that. But I like little confirmations that I was funny early on. And one other one that always sticks out to me was my Aunt Lynn hated, she was so scared of she's scared of insects in general, but she hated ants so much. Like, she was so, like, scared of them the way people are scared of snakes and little tiny ants. And I was always just like, that's so, like, I just didn't understand it. And I remember going, like, Aunt Lynn, it's so weird that you're an ant and you're scared of ants, but you're an ant. And I didn't know what the word spelled like, but to me, it was just like, I understood irony as a kid. I didn't obviously think ants and ants were the same thing, aunts and ants, but I remember she was like, that is the funniest thing I have. My aunt talks like that. She's a little bit like me. Oh my God. Nick, you should, did you hear what Nikki just said? Nikki just said, and I remember being like the way Andrew was describing the other day about that dad commenting on his, like, great football pass, like being like, yeah, oh my God, like, I just did something that is special. I don't know what it was. And then I look back and I'm like, oh my God, that was really special. I was actually just recalling babysitting for the Apatows. And I remember I was talking about how funny Maud and Iris both were, but Iris was a little bit younger. Maud was probably like 7 or 8. And we were making a cake, but it was in the middle of summer. We had nothing to, like, celebrate. And I think it was probably my idea to be like, let's do a holiday we don't even know about, you know? So we were like, let's make a Kwanzaa cake. And I think we were being funny because it was like, that's a holiday that we don't know anything. It was very insensitive to people who celebrate Kwanzaa. I would not do this today with children. I don't want to say it was a different time, but, like, I'm a different, more sensitive person. We made a Kwanzaa cake because we were like, it's the summer. There's nothing to celebrate. Let's celebrate something that we don't know how to celebrate it anyway. And I remember we were singing a Kwanzaa song, which we don't know. And so we sang Happy Birthday, and we were like, Happy Kwanzaa to you, Happy Kwanzaa to you. And this little 7-year-old Maud goes, we don't know what your holiday means, but we're going to celebrate it anyway. And I just remember looking at her like, you bitch. That was funnier than anything I could have come up with the refrain to that song. And I just remember being like, you're gonna surpass me in this biz someday. And she did, like, she already had, she was knocked up at that point. But just when kids say things that you go, you are operating on a different kind of level in terms of comedy. Yeah, so she was born with it. Or maybe it's Maybelline or Judd Apatow or being on movie sets with hilarious people. Or maybe it's genetic. I don't know. Let's get someone in here who I also think was born funny. Let's see. We'll ask him. My roommate, Andrew. Hey, Andrew.
Hey, Nikki.
Wait, you don't have underwear?
No, I was just fucking around. I do have underwear on. I have 4 layers on, dude. Don't worry about it.
Dude, I watched Ted Lasso last night, the episode that you've already seen.
Okay.
Remember when he goes, well, you know, fear is a lot like underwear, and then she cuts him off?
Oh, no, I don't remember.
It's okay. That was an easy line to miss. But he's talking to his therapist, and he has all these, like, if you don't watch Ted Lasso, you don't need to know that this isn't going to you're not going to be left out. But he always has these, like, aphorisms, I want to say, or, like, kind of little adages. I don't know. That word is definitely not right. But, like, little sayings that are like, you know, my favorite one on Ted Lasso was, you talking bad about yourself? It's like Woody Allen playing the clarinet. I don't want to hear it. That's one of my favorites, but he has those little things. But he's talking to his therapist, and she was saying that she was scared to get back on a bicycle after she fell off it. And he's like, well, you know what? Fear's a lot like underwear. And she goes, Ted, I don't want to do this right now. Yeah. And then it never completes.
Yeah.
And I
remember it now.
I know they're gonna pay it off at some point. We're gonna find out what that was. But I stopped the TV and sat for about, I'm not gonna exaggerate, 20 minutes and tried to think because I thought it was gonna pay off in that episode. It didn't. So I think they're waiting till the end of the season. I'm dying to know what fear is like underwear. And it doesn't pay off in the next episode either, because I watched the next one. So
you don't see
by
it
the time this is out, if you want to also guess, I was like, it's underneath, it's right below the surface, and
Yes.
you only need it when there's an accident, or or you change it at, you don't think about it until you need it, or it's always there, or don't use the same one twice, or smell it before you
dealt
decide
it.
to. Like, fear's a lot like underwear. You got to pick it up and sniff it sometimes because you don't know if it's been used. That doesn't work for fear.
Or you don't see it until it's too late. Like, or you don't care about it until it's too late.
There's something. You were famously, I mean, you told a story.
Euphemisms?
Yeah.
I'm very known for that, yeah.
Well, you didn't wear underwear one time when you were arrested. Took your pants. You had to do a strip
Yeah.
search, and they go strip down to your boxers, and you in a holding room with 30 other men, like
Inmates.
hardened criminal
Yes.
men, had to drop trow, and everyone had boxers on except you. You were free balling it.
You would think there'd be at least one other guy.
At least
I
one.
feel like everyone got together and goes, look, we're all going to see his little dick, all 30 of us, and we're going to laugh at him. I'm like, is this even jail?
The
Is
saddest
this an
part of
intervention for my penis?
The saddest part of it is you trying to cover your penis, but also trying to look like
Yes.
you're
the
not
half,
trying to cover it.
The half and half.
Oof, that one hurts.
Yeah.
My soul is like you. That's the one where I go, oh, Andrew.
The other saddest part is I had a witness. Like your
friend was arrested with
If I was
you.
alone, it wouldn't
The story
be.
might not have even been remembered. You might have repressed it.
There's been so many stories where I go, I could have kept that in and no one would have known. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was something I did alone.
I mean, I bring you on stage now by telling you the story of how we initially met.
Yeah.
And within, we had DM'd because I asked you to be my dog walker. And there's a story behind all of that. But I DM'd you. I said, meet me at Bed Bath & Beyond. And you met me downstairs. And I was already my cart was kind of full. I was going through with Luigi. I wanted you to meet him. And you show up a little bit of nervous energy. But I was just comfortable around you immediately. I was just I need to make this guy comfortable. He's I don't know what he's going through, but I liked you immediately. I wasn't judging you.
It was 8 years of not getting anything.
Yeah, and you were so sweet, but then you revealed to me within seconds. I mean, dude, seconds.
We were on the street, though, I think, when I finally told you. I don't know if I told you in Bed Bath & Beyond or I
see,
feel
in my
like we
memory,
were,
it was inside.
Either way, it was within
next to
5
the duvets.
minutes.
I was like, do you think this one or this one? And you're like, what's a duvet? And I'm like, we've got a lot of work to do. But you told me that you got an AIDS test because
fingered
as
a
a
girl.
virgin, because you fingered a girl and you bite your fingernails. And I was I remember being why would this person tell me this? But also that's the kind of shit I do, the oversharing. And
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that I'm the person that this guy met in order I'm glad that he didn't do this to anyone else, because I can handle this and maybe not a lot of people could. I was okay, you've come to the right place. You might have been the 1 in 30 men without underwear at that time, or at boxers.
Yeah.
But I was the 1 in 30 people that would be okay with you saying that in a job interview. You know what I mean? You got lucky.
I think I just saw it as like we were talking to another comic, and I wanted to impress you. I knew you were like an oversharer,
and you knew that was a funny joke.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hilarious.
I mean, it's great because you do that on stage now. You tell the story, and it just sets me up nicely to then, I never told the story of why I did it, but it's literally because I fingered a girl on a cruise, and we were outside, and the smell from her vagina overtook, like, it felt like I was in a small box with her, but we were on this boat with 50-mile-per-hour winds.
Yeah, you guys were doing like the Titanic, like.
Yeah.
Like arms spread, except
but just imagine Jack being
blowing.
like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah. Did you might think it was like chum or some kind of like the?
I thought it was red tide.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no,
So it was the smell. So if you fingered her and you bit your fingernails and it wasn't stinky, you wouldn't have done that.
I was really like, I was already very scared.
That's what I was gonna say. I thought you were just paranoid.
Yeah, but it didn't help the fact that I thought it was like.
Should I say that you fingered a girl whose vagina kind of smelled?
Oh, sorry.
Would that add to the story?
No. Let me
Yeah.
say it. It sets me up nicely to go into a little Florida stuff.
The only thing I worry about is that girls are going to be so scared about the smell of their pussy now because men are going to think they have AIDS then. You know what I mean?
No, I didn't have AIDS, guys. So
well, obviously, but like,
no, I'm just saying out there.
if a girl's vagina smells and she's super hot and you have like great chemistry, what are you going to do? Honestly,
Throw her in the ocean.
Come
no,
on,
I
don't give the
Are
right
there
answer.
vaginas that don't smell? I mean,
like,
isn't
has
there always a smell?
They always are going to smell, and they shouldn't smell good. It'd be weird if your vagina smelled great. I understand it smelling good after a guy has like fallen in love with you and like is into your pheromones. Like I like the smell of a guy's pits and like body odor when I'm in love with them. But to have your vagina smell good without that, you're kind of a pervert if you like the smell of like just pussy, because that's a nook where a lot of saturation is happening, and it's like there's dirty things down there for
sure. And honestly, I wouldn't. It was a cruise. Like, you're not gonna have a lasting relationship from a hookup on a cruise. Like, there was nothing involved there. But if it was someone I was dating that I loved, I'd eventually maybe have a.
No, you don't love them yet, because I feel like if you love them, you've already fingered them a lot. This is like first couple dates. There's like there's just something kicking down there, and it feels like you're smart enough to know that a woman's vagina smelling a little bit like off doesn't mean HIV or like that she is going to give you a disease. Although your brain might do that for you, even though cognitively that's not
when
true.
I'm 15 or 16, I was so ignorant.
Well,
it was literally like my first vagina I ever felt.
What do you do now if it smells like? Because I'm gonna talk, like, I'm just speaking from my own experience. Like, there are times where if a guy goes down on me, a new guy like does anything to me, there's a part of me that's like, oh, I hope it's okay today, because I don't know, and maybe because like we talked about the other day, you don't know your own smell because you get used to it. That's why people stink and they don't know, and you go, how can this guy not fucking smell that he smells like this? It's because we get used to scents so that we can smell new ones.
I honestly think I would give another try, and also, like,
would you tell them
if the smell is new to you?
Would you want to know, Noah, if your pussy stank? Like, would you want a guy to gently tell you?
I don't think I could tell her. Not unless it was like maybe 5 hookups in, and it's just like, okay, this is.
But
really
I think, would you tell her, or would you just cut it loose?
I think if I really liked her, hopefully I would tell her. I really hope I'd be there.
What do you want to do when you role play?
I go, ooh, that pussy stick.
Okay, let's role play. So it's
right.
the 5th time you've hooked up with this girl, and you guys have a great time together, and you see a future. It's like the first person you've really like connected with in a while, and you're like, oh my God, like this is happening. And you went down on her, like, say on like the 2nd date, and it wasn't great. And now you went down on her again, and it's just like there's something wrong.
Yes.
Like, and it's not just you. You've gone down enough girls to know, or do you think it's you? What's your?
I don't know.
What
It's
do you do?
so hard, because then it's like, if she is aware of it and she can't do it, she's like tried to do stuff for it.
She should warn you then. If a girl has, I think if you're aware of it,
Do you
Noah,
have gingivitis of a vagina? Like, is there a vagina that like
gingivitis.
or vaginavitis?
Well, yeah, it's called
Gingivitis.
ginger.
BV or
Yeah,
like
it's called VV.
Oh,
or
Bacterial vaginosis.
Bacterial vaginosis.
Yeah.
And then like the girl should go and get something for that. I personally would not want to be told, but I have a suggestion of how you could handle it.
What?
You say, "Hey, let's go and do this in the shower. I've always wanted to eat a girl out in the shower or something."
Oh yeah, I've
then
always
every
wanted
time
to
you-
see what it would be like to put a Listerine pocket pack strip between each of your labial folds and see what happens. I want to do a science experiment. I
I just want
to.
to put an airborne in there and see what happens.
I want you to douche with this Clorox. Yeah.
What about if a guy had a smelly dick?
I would say something, I think, because, guys are less, less of their identity, I think. And I don't speak for, like, all men, and I certainly don't speak for any men, but I feel like less of your identity is wrapped up in, like, cleanliness and being, like, dainty. Like,
Yes.
being feminine is very, like, clean. And, like, that's, like, how you're supposed to be.
So how would you bring it up to a smelly penis?
I'd say, listen, I fucking love sucking your dick, and
Oh, that's a
I
good one.
love your penis. Like, I'm obsessed. And if that were the case, but I think if I wanted to make this relationship last, even no matter what their penis looked like, I would already be obsessed with their penis. I like you so much. There is something going on down there, and I don't think it has anything to do with like who you are. There's just something that is like not your fault that's happening down there, and I think you should just go get it looked at, because I'm like, I want to suck your dick all the time, and it's like preventing that. And I don't care. I literally don't care at all. Like, I've had a stinky pussy before. Like, I would probably make up a scenario where like I've had the same thing happen to me, and I just didn't know about it till someone told me. And I know this is so awkward, and I promise you it doesn't change the way I look at you or like how into you I am. I'm trying to get COVID right now so I can suck your dick, and I don't want to have to do that, because I'm trying to lose my sense of taste and smell actively. And do you want me to die of COVID? Because I am king nasal swabs at that I find in CVS dumpsters right now, just trying to.
I kind of love it if the guy was just like, "You're just gonna have to deal with it." like
I'd be
instead
like,
of
okay, daddy.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
no,
What would you do if he was just like, "You gotta"? Well, that's my dick. It smells.
I mean, a guy like would never do that. Like, I that would make me go, okay, that's a deal breaker. However, Noah, I believe that as much as it would pain me, I would want a guy to do the exact same way I
Yeah.
just said that. Like,
No, that was good.
I don't judge you at all. This has happened to me before. I just think that you have something going on down there, and you can't even. I don't think you can smell it or I don't think you sense it because you're all the way up here. But like, as someone that's been down there, just want to let you know, like, I love your pussy. I can't wait to get back in there. But the way it is now, there's something wrong. Though I learned that from Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
His niece, Roy's niece, has bad breath.
Yeah.
And they're both like, it can't be that bad, because a boy at school is teasing her. They're like, oh, honey, it can't be that bad. And they both smell it, and they're like, ugh, and like gagging. And the way they tell her is like, it's not your fault. Like, I love that. Like, it's because I think that so much of this stuff is like, you're dirty, you're wrong, you're bad, you did something bad. And even if you are unclean and it is your fault because you don't wash your vagina properly, that's still not your fault, to me at least, because something's going on in your life where you either didn't learn how to clean yourself, and that's not your fault, or maybe you don't care because you've let go of your cleanliness because you're depressed. That's not your fault. You're depressed. Like, whatever reason it is, I definitely would take away.
The hardest part about
fault.
it, though, is if you do say something, the next time you hook up, it's on their mind. The next, it's like,
Yeah, but then you can make a joke of it and go, I'm going in. Like, you can make a joke and go, is
that's
it
a good
still there?
idea.
Like, keep the conversation going. Don't make it be a one-time thing, because if you take away the person delivering the news, if you make it so casual that you like don't care at all about talking about it, then the person that is going to feel more comfortable about it. If you're like trepidatious, I feel like that's when someone is bringing up something to me that's like hard for them to do, whether it be you or even myself, when I bring up something for someone, the like, hey, can we talk? So I don't know what, like, all of that stuff
Mm-hmm.
makes whatever's about to come so much worse because I'm reading their body language and their way they talk, and I'm like, holy shit, this is really bad.
Yeah.
Because the way they're presenting it. Whereas opposed to like, hey, there's this thing, and listen, this is like, it happens all the time. Maybe it's just me. Maybe there's something wrong with me that it bugs me, but it's this thing. And the more casual you are about it, that's, I think, why with anal sex I've become so far into the shitting thing and like being like, you're gonna get shit on. If you do anal sex, like, you're gonna come across poop. Like, let's just be casual about it, because when it happens, I don't want it to be this thing of like, we both know what happened, but we're not going to talk about it. Like, if we talk about it, it takes away the weight and the shame of
It's
those
almost
things.
if you go big up top, then whatever ends up happening, like you're gonna shit on them, and so maybe a little shit will get on you. It's like when it's like, 40 people died, now just 5 people died, kind of thing. Like you're going bigger.
Ted Lasso last night, they told a girl that her house burned down, and they felt so that she would leave her stand so they could sneak into the bar on this episode. And they were all like, we feel bad, because she ran out of the bar being like, my building's burning down. And they go, no, she's going to appreciate her apartment more than she ever has now, because it's going to, like, when you think you've lost something, you find your wallet and you're like, I love this wallet so much. Yeah. But
so then you go, your vagina and your butthole smell, and then it's just,
and then
no,
you
it's
go,
just your vagina.
kidding.
Just your vagina.
My friend Gabe Kia had a great joke about when he got a felony and he got arrested for dealing cocaine in college. And obviously he just like, he's a nice boy that just got into the wrong game and got busted almost right away,
That happened to someone else I know.
And
right away.
He got busted, and also it was the guy that turned him in, that ratted on him, was one of the family of the like O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Okay.
And so he does this joke and he goes, oh, O'Reilly, you're a narc. And so every time I drive past O'Reilly Auto Parts, I like flick it off and send a picture to Gabe Kia of like me being like, fuck you, O'Reilly. When really it's just like a kid. Like, don't not give O'Reilly business because of this. But he said that when he told his mom, he goes, Mom,
oh, God.
I have a felony charge. And she was like, what? And he was like, and she goes, for what, Gabe? And he goes, rape. And she's like, oh my God. And he goes, just kidding, Mom, it's cocaine. And she was like, oh, good. And so then she was like relieved. It's so funny.
It's so perfect.
It happened to me once with a death. Like the one death that I've had that's been closest to me was my cousin JD, who I grew up with. And my sister called me in 2014 and was like, Nikki. And I was just like, oh my God, my dad's dead. Like 100% my dad or mom died tragically. Like, and then she was like, JD is dead. I was like, oh, thank God. Like a cousin I'm very close to compared to my parents is quite a different thing. So it was like, there was a release immediately. There was like, okay, oh, good. I have gratitude for my parents. It was almost like, when you're upset about something, make a gratitude list, because it made me celebrate the things I now have that I thought I didn't.
Oh, it sucks though that we have to go through like something that big to realize like something's important.
I know. I mean, Norm Macdonald, I'm like, oh, I would love to go see him. I'm like really into him right now. And it's like, well, a little too late.
I did get to see him at Caroline's like 4 years ago.
Oh, that's cool.
It was pretty incredible.
Did he bomb or did he kill? Because
a little bit of both.
Oh, really? Do you remember any highlights?
He gives such zero fucks. It's like he goes up there. I mean,
Zero.
who knew he had cancer at this time? Which, that was another thing I was thinking about with him having cancer, whether it's terminal or not. It was 9 years. It's a great reason to be like, I don't give a fuck if I go up there and talk about Mountain Dew for an hour.
Well, if it helps, we're all going to die of cancer.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way.
I was thinking
all
that.
All of us.
I was thinking about this week, and I go,
we all
I'm
have
dying.
a terminal illness called life.
Yes. And I was like, why do I'm opening with a bit that I've been a little afraid to, you know what I mean? Like,
that's
fuck
why I say
that.
in our little chats before, I go,
I know.
I kind of make it becomes a little bit sad, because I go, we could die tomorrow. Let's treat this show like, if we knew we were going to die tomorrow, we wouldn't give a fuck. We would just want to have as much fun as possible. So let's treat this like, because there's always like, I want to work on this joke because I've got this thing coming up. What if you don't have that thing coming up? Like, what would this set be like? And maybe you could still work on that joke because there's fun to be had in the process. So even if you thought you were dying tomorrow, you still want to do this new joke that isn't completely worked out. But like, if we all did live like that, it would be it might be pandemonium actually.
But he, you know how Gary Shandling.
There might be a lot of coke dealings, if you know what I'm saying, from the last.
Oh yeah, that's
joke.
a good point. That's a good point. We're gonna die tomorrow. Me and Nikki are just dead in an alley from fucking drinking too many wine coolers.
We
again.
got to get to the news.
Oh okay. Yeah. So he was great, and that's.
But we'll interject Norm stories throughout this. I feel I do want to hear about your experience seeing him.
All right. Let's get to the news. Apparently.
You heard it here first. Yeah, you heard it here first.
Oh, you heard it here first. This is a big episode. We're on YouTube now. Hi, everyone at home. I hope you're having all the swells. Yeah, that's you. And you too.
Comment on my looks below.
Yeah, how does Nikki's
Guess
legs
what?
look?
I'm never going to read these comments, no matter what. I just want to let everyone know.
I'll read them and let her
Andrew
know
will
passive
read,
aggressively.
No, he won't.
No.
He will read the comments because he's a glutton for pain. But you can say, I would love to say nice things because I feel like I'll just feel it in the ether. I won't read nice ones or bad ones. I will never. There's no way I will ever read these comments ever.
But leave them because it helps the algorithm.
And I swear, yeah, definitely leave them. But just know I will never read them. So if you were trying to hurt me, it ain't gonna happen. But Andrew will read them. So
and then I'll
try to hurt him.
Yeah, and then I'll write it and then on our refrigerator.
If you
And just
honestly,
not,
well, sorry, Noah.
I was going to say, just not to confuse people, this episode will be on YouTube on Wednesday and we'll
yes.
announce everything on our Instagram.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
But on this episode, I just want to say, comment below. If you want to comment below anything, and you probably already have at this point because we're far into the episode, and if you hated it, you stopped watching it. But a lot of people like continue watching things when they hate it.
Yeah.
If you're watching and you don't like this and you want to comment something mean, would you say that to my face in the street? Honestly, ask yourself that, because that should be the litmus before you comment something. Like, you should have to do a CAPTCHA of like FaceTiming me, you know? Because I bet you wouldn't. But maybe you're going to write, I wouldn't say it to your face because your face looks fucking puffy and tired, you dumb cunt bitch. I haven't come in a while and I'm angry. Chads. Oh, I'm going to get killed. I'm going to get.
Are you edging right now? I love it.
I might be.
All right. So first story, Instagram is wreaking havoc on young girls. A study found it big show fucking up exacerbates
Nice.
negative body image, low self-esteem, anxiety, depression, and in extreme cases, suicidal thoughts. The study was commissioned by
Extreme
Facebook.
cases.
I love that
every day.
Yeah, was commissioned by Facebook and then buried by its own executives.
Wait, so Facebook and Instagram are
Facebook owns Instagram.
yeah. Okay, so it was commissioned by it, and then the report was buried because the research was probably even worse than we can imagine.
I'm sure.
If a 37-year-old woman who has worked on herself so much still has to mute people on Instagram so that she doesn't feel sad, and even body positive accounts trigger me, where they're like girls showing their cellulite or like bigger women being like, I'm beautiful. Even those piss me off and make me feel weirdly insecure. My cellulite isn't as dimply as hers, or, there's always just something. If it's happening to me, I know it's the most, pedestrian thing to say. Oh, if, social media were around when I was a kid, but I would have killed myself.
Yeah.
I'm not joking you. It wouldn't have been good for someone like me. I would not have survived. I don't think I would have survived it.
I just wonder if there's like let's say you had Instagram since you were 9,
And I would have been wrong to do that, by the way. I want to say, like, it would have been it would have been the saddest thing, because what potential I had and what bullshit that all is. But I wasn't smart enough, or like, my brain wasn't developed enough to see past those things. So I just want to say that when I say that, I just mean like I was a kid that would have made a very dumb and final decision. So
yeah, I mean, it's tough because of Instagram, because of social media, there are so many platforms and so many different influencers that could be positives for these kids. What happens is they type in like they want to get into bodybuilding, like this is what happens with, and then Instagram will take that and go, all right, well, here's 300 accounts of the hottest women you've ever seen that might write bodybuilding caption in their thing, and then they see the likes that they get, they see the followers they get, and then they look at their 40 followers, they look at their cellulite and think,
I don't know if
nothing.
it's about followers for girls though.
Huh?
Like I think for teenage
not,
girls, I don't know
yeah.
if it's just followers. I think it's just like, oh, I wish my body would look that way.
Yeah. On top of that, I'm saying.
I guess
I'm
it's
saying,
like the girls with the best
Sure.
bodies have the most followers and like fame, and like
Yes.
even though they don't probably think they can get a blue check mark in the fame and the thousands and thousands of likes, they think like, you know, obviously that's what gets that kind of thing. Like the way I looked, I never thought I was going to be Jennifer Aniston when I was in middle school, but the way that I thought I wanted to be that famous in my own
Yes.
world, and so yeah, I think you're.
I mean, fame
agree
is
with
definitely,
you,
I think, involved in it, though. I think that with that,
people want to be famous so badly.
yeah, that it's all about going viral. It's all about being big on TikTok, and then their friend has big boobs, so she gets literally 1 million followers for having big boobs. She doesn't have big boobs, and then she thinks I need breast
I was
implants, and then bam.
journaling today, and I was like dealing with a jealousy issue that I'm having about someone in the business that is like a peer and like and a friend. And I was just journaling about my feelings about it because it just, I can't help my feelings, you know, like I'm not choosing to be jealous of this person. And I wrote, okay, if this person gets all the things that I'm scared they're going to get because I don't have those things, or even maybe the things that I do have that this person is also going to get that maybe makes me feel like the things that I got are not as special because now someone else got them, or they're going to be the new big man on campus and they're going to forget about me. Will it change? What will that person get that I don't have right now? Like what am I honestly wanting? And the truth is love and maybe a life part, like it might expose me to more people that I will have the richest friends, the not richest meaning like I'm not like emotionally, I mean financially. No, I will have the best. I will have the option to have the best of everything, and I guess that's it. Or I will have enough. I will
Do you
have more
feel like
money.
this person has love in their personal life and friends?
Yeah.
So that's probably added on to the thing.
It's not though, because that's what helped get me there was like this person, I could be jealous of them without the fame because what I really want is what they already have. And that's like a partner who loves them, financial security, like just a great outlook on life, just kind of happiness, a strong sense of self. And that the things that they're going to get are not going to give them more of that. So why am I threatened by more people liking this person? Because the things I want I do not get any of the things that I'm thinking. When I really break it down, like I just want to be happier. I always want like to feel better. And what makes me feel better? Connection, comfort, foot massages. All of those things I can get without fame and have had without fame. Yes, some of those are acquired through money, especially foot massages and comfort. But I had to really like journal about, and I was able to release it because I was like, this is a fallacy. My jealousy is a fallacy because there's nothing true about it. Like jealousy is born of, I guess envy is when you want something that someone else has. And I think it was more envy of like, I don't know the difference between jealousy and envy. I always like back up against those.
They're spelled different.
But that's a big one. Thank you,
Yeah,
Andrew.
you're welcome.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, it's pretty deep. It's like underwear. Wait, can I ask a question? Wait, what was I gonna? Oh, but see, I think like you have reached. I guess it's why billionaires are still upset because they still want more, right? Like it's about at that point, it's just about needing more. Like you've accomplished literally 99.
I don't want it to go away.
I know, but
I don't want people to forget about me, and I don't want my accomplishments to be diminished when someone else gets the same things. That's almost what it is. And
but it doesn't affect you. I don't think. I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I did the math. I was able to break apart the problem and deconstruct it and go, okay, what I think this person's gonna get, the happiness, the comfort, the friends, the like cool people thinking she's cool. I already have all that, and also I know that the last one especially doesn't mean anything, and it doesn't make me feel better. I always just feel like I'm tricking that cool person, and that person isn't as cool as I thought they were because they like me. So I already invalidate that if it happens. So once I was able to deconstruct it and be like, I was able to release it. Like I honestly am at a point now where I'm like, God, I hope this person gets everything that they want, and I really can say that because I was able to write it out and like, and take the feeling and. I don't know, just pair it apart and go, like, this feeling doesn't even have, it's not even true. But the jealousy isn't based in nothing.
My question, though, is, let's say you were a 16-year-old girl, right? In this world, you probably already have 400,000 followers, right, on TikTok. You're doing well. You know what I mean?
These people didn't pull girls that have 600,000 followers on TikTok. These are girls that have... No followers.
That's
maybe
what I'm
just
saying.
No,
I'm saying they're looking at accounts that have 400,000.
Yes.
They have maybe 40, whatever.
Yeah.
What do you say to the girl that hasn't reached anything, like hasn't accomplished
I will say
these
you
things?
won't know until you try and you get a little bit of that stuff doesn't bring you happiness. No amount of me saying fame doesn't bring you happiness.
Yes.
Or anyone famous saying that will make you believe that. You'll have to have your own set. You'll have to live your life, go after the things that you think you want, and see and really just investigate what you're after. What are you after ultimately? Love, happiness, like honestly, money. And then what does money say about you? Well, it means I can live comfortably. Okay, well, comfort and have shelter and food and all that's important. But like when you break it down, you will eventually realize that those stuff don't bring you happiness. But it's so ingrained in us that even I, knowing these things, still get wrapped up in it. And I have to pause and journal. I have to do it. It was honestly felt like a math test that you would have cheated on. But when you would have to do a quadratic, like you would have to break it down and show your work. I had to show my work of my feeling. Like, okay, show how did you get to jealousy? What's going on here? And then once you break it down, you're like, the science doesn't match.
Yeah.
It doesn't, there's no reason. It was like how I quit drinking. Once I looked at all the reasons for why I drank in that book, The Alan Carr Easy Way to Stop Drinking, any reason I had to drink, he would disprove and go, actually, that doesn't do that for you. It doesn't make you braver. It doesn't make you more courageous. It doesn't make you more social. It doesn't. And once he gave every like I couldn't argue. Yes, it does. He broke it down. I was like, I can't do it anymore. I don't have the need to drink. So now I don't have the need to be jealous of that particular person.
Yeah.
I was able to unbrainwash myself, I guess. Next story.
Next story.
Actually goes really well into the next story.
Ooh.
By daydreaming, individuals realize unmet emotional and psychological needs in a fictitious environment. A person can spend more than 60% of their waking time in an imaginary world they have created.
I don't relate to daydreaming at all.
I was going to say, there's 3 different personalities that were studied. There's the narcissistic grandiosity, the tendency to believe that one is superior to others and deserves special treatment, more likely to daydream about themes such as wish fulfillment, power, dominance, and violence. Separation insecurity, fearing rejection and or separation. They're more likely to daydream about distractions from boredom, rewarding pastimes, and caring relationships. And the last one is anhedonia. I don't know, lacking enjoyment or energy for life experiences. They recall a rewarding pastime and distractions from unpleasant realities. So essentially people either, they daydream about when things were actually good.
I've never done that because it's already done. And I am like, it's gone. Like, you can't get it back. I don't even like to go back in the past.
When you daydream, do you actually see things? Like, I'll do it in the car sometimes. In the car on a long drive.
Like, what are you daydreaming about? I mean, you've been interviewed by Letterman in your shower. That's daydreaming.
Oh, I thought that was real. Oh, shit. No, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That was his web series. He was interviewing people in a shower.
Yeah, it was just a tester for his Netflix show.
Yeah, it was a Quibi thing that never really got off the ground.
Yeah, I was less expensive than a mannequin they put in a chair.
That does seem like a web series someone would do. Is like, we interview people in showers. Yeah. Like when you're trying to do something quirky, a little bit different.
It really is. And then you put a plan in there.
Yes.
And then you get a special and everyone tells you it's brilliant. Anyhow, I digress. Should we watch that later? You'll laugh. So Yeah, no, I do that on the shower. I do it because I
What do you
take
do in
longer
a car?
shower.
What are you
In
going
the
to?
car, I'll just get lost. I can't. Sometimes I'll drive. I mean, it sounds bad, but like, I'll daydream and an hour will pass, and I go, I was driving.
Oh yeah,
Like,
people. I have that too, where it's like you all of a sudden go, whoa, I'm driving. Wait, tell me what you daydream about. Are you going past, present, or future?
A lot of times I'll be doing in
Or violence.
Future.
Violence was one of those. It's like,
Yeah, I
what?
daydream about killing like a family of 6.
I mean, 6.
I just,
That's hard to find
I daydream
nowadays.
about driving a bigger car to kill more people.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you daydream about plowing into a head-on into a minivan.
You know what would be dope is driving a smart car into a truck and you demolished a truck. That'd be badass.
Wait, what?
Because you always see like one of these semi trucks.
But why would that happen if a tiny car, like physically? I don't
Maybe it
think
hit
that
a
can happen.
ramp and then went through the windshield.
Okay.
Like a deer goes through a windshield.
that's funny. Yeah. A little like what are those little cars that are like
A Fiat?
No, the one like a Fiat. Yeah, just like goes off a ramp
Yeah.
and then slams into a huge Walmart truck.
Like a
Doesn't
badass
kill
driver.
anyone,
Like,
but it, like,
nothing can hurt me. I'm a fucking semi truck driver that takes
Yeah.
up 9 lanes.
Yeah.
And then a Fiat just jumps.
I love truck drivers, by the way. I don't want to make fun of them. And I think they actually are the most safe on the road
They
than
probably
anyone.
love getting made fun of. Freaking.
All right, well, comment below. What do you feel?
I'll go after him. I'm not afraid.
Honk, honk.
I do love that. That was great.
That they love it apparently. I've heard
Oh.
on Reddit countless times. People are like, my dad's a truck driver. Just know that they love that. They love you to go honk, do the honk thing.
Blowhorn signal.
Yeah, they love it. Or maybe it's a jerk. I'll jerk you off at the next rest stop. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why they like it. Is
You just hold up a sign of a picture of George Michael.
that how you jerk people off? Is
Yeah.
you pull it like a crank? What do you daydream about, Noah? Do you daydream?
I used to daydream all the time, and I'm almost like a little embarrassed to admit it, but I used to like daydream about being in like a loving relationship.
Yeah.
And this is like when I was
But what did he
very
look
like
like?
a teenager.
Was it Letterman? No. What would you
Tom
do?
Hardy.
Tom Hart? Really?
Oh,
he is
yeah.
hot. Yeah.
Wait, when you were
But I used to like
okay.
think that like my pillow was like a body. You know, I
Yeah.
would just like always like go to bed and just like get into like these really long like daydreams. I used to do it all the time. I don't.
Wow.
Not anymore though.
I really am envious of that. I think it relates to my envy of women who, and I can do the math on this one and it actually checks out because I can't do it, who can think about past sexual encounters or fantasize and come from like their mind.
Oh.
And like a story they tell in their mind. I have no ability to do that.
Me neither.
If anyone knows why I can't, I'm not one of these people that can't recall people's faces in my mind. There's some people that have the like, they can't imagine a face until they see it, like even like their mother.
Have you ever tried to masturbate no porn? Like, when's the last time you just did it with your brain?
I would never even attempt to do that. Like most of the time I can't even do it with porn.
Can you
so-
try it like within the next week and see and talk about it?
Yeah, I feel like it would be like me in the woods rubbing 2 sticks together to make fire. Like it would just be naked and afraid. Honestly, it's just
You gotta talk about that on stage. It's very funny to like to just. I mean, I just want you to try. Like, I think it's high on your own supply.
yeah. I mean, I love that I think Ashley Hasseltine is the one that said it's like playing acoustic when you just do it with your hand.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
I can't even. I mean, it would be. I'll try it. I'll try it.
I've tried it, and like weird people
It has
pop
to
in.
be. It has to be someone I actually have a chance with. That's where I fantasize. Like the times
Not
that I
past
daydream.
people, future people.
The times I daydream is when I have potential with someone that's very exciting, like it's on the move, but it hasn't happened yet, and I can close my eyes on a plane and just imagine like being in a relationship with them and like how exciting it's going to be when I see them like the next time, and like that it's got to be on the precipice of real, and it's always about a guy.
Yes.
It's never about like, oh my God, I might get SNL. Like it's never that.
Yes.
It's never a career thing because those things stress me out. Whereas like a loving relationship makes me feel like, oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
So but it has to be someone that's like I actually have a chance with, not like there's never like a celebrity unless it's a celebrity I have a chance with, which they don't want to date me because they like their private lives and don't. And also maybe they just don't want to date me. I like to say it's because they're so private.
Yeah,
that's why
because they're private.
That's why celebrities would. That's why Ben Affleck would swipe left on me on Ryan.
Yeah, that's
because
it.
he knows I talk so openly on stage and he wants to keep it.
I mean, he knows your whole act, and he would know exactly the jokes that you're talking about.
Who knows? He might be a fan.
I'm sure he is.
That's what
Wait, we changing? I'm like yes ending you, and you go, actually, he's a fan. He's a fan. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure. I would almost guarantee he doesn't know who I am.
Doesn't?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people know who you are that you didn't expect it, like, at times. Yeah, I mean,
I do know that I did an impression of Jennifer Aniston on Whitney Cummings' podcast, and Whitney sent me a screenshot of Jen DMing her and saying,
Wait, what's this?
you didn't know that?
No.
I was just so mortified because it wasn't that good of an impression. I hadn't like practiced it in a while, and it wasn't like, it just wasn't great.
What did Jen write?
She wrote like crying tear, like it was. I'll pull it up. I probably still have it. It was like an emoji that wasn't.
This is what you need to masturbate to.
But you're no kidding. Does that count? Yeah. It was like it was good, but here it is.
Just put Zac Efron's face.
She wrote, "Oh Lord," 2 exclamation marks, and then the emoji where it's like the 2, like here. I'll zoom in.
I mean, that's great.
I did it, you guys. Jennifer Aniston laughed at something I did and said, "Oh Lord, oh Lord."
You know, I bet who's not getting that? The person you're jealous of, and then getting that text.
Well,
Yet
they're probably, they'll get that version. I don't want my heroes to know. Like when I did that, I remember being like, Jen's probably gonna, and I love that I'm calling her Jen. Jen is probably gonna see this
J.A.
because she's friends with Whitney. And I know that and Whitney's tagging her in the videos, and I was just like, I know she's gonna see it, and I was just like, no, I don't want my heroes to know I exist, and I love.
But then part of you is like, I do want.
No, not at all. Like
really?
the Taylor Swift thing, like I get into trouble. I love people so much that I have opinions about them that might be a little bit negative. Like my impression of her isn't like glowingly nice. Like it's just like it's like it's not like the best thing to so
noises are awesome. I love we
Yeah.
forget how great our mouths can be. Like
I don't know what that one was, but I do think that I do think though that she I'm glad I review it. I remember when she sent it to me, I didn't even look at it. That was the first time I was actually looking at it.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to.
And the fact that she sent it to me, I knew it was positive, so I just kind of like didn't look at it. But I still don't remember what Taylor Swift wrote to me on the comment that she wrote to me on my thing. She wrote, I think it was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." But I looked at it once and I never will again because it was just like, okay, I know it's positive. I can't dissect it because if I even sense that she's a little bit like, this girl kind of sucks and like this is lame, I won't be able to enjoy her anymore. And I need Jen and I need Tay. Let's take a quick break and we'll be back with Why Do I Care? Why do I care? Andrew, why do I care?
Interesting question. Oh man, this is pretty big news. I hope you're sitting down again. Okay, Love Is Blind star Jessica Batin.
Yeah. Wait, is she talking to Barnett or Mark right now?
Oh, Barnett.
Okay, so what is the
She's
news article
engaged
about me? Oh my God, I
to
am.
a surgeon named Benjamin McGrath, who's not related to that other McGrath guy that had the hit.
Mark.
Mark, yes.
Every morning,
I'm not going to sing. with you.
Jessica, what's her name again? Jessica
Rabbit.
Is her name Jessica?
Batten, yes.
Baton Rouge.
Obviously, we all remember her. She ended up falling for. Well, she loved Barnett. She
talked
was
to Barnett
with
like
Bug
this,
Eyes.
and then she she got with Mark though.
And she would talk to Mark like, "Hey, Mark, will you go get me another glass of wine?" And she'd be like,
So Barnett, I think that you and Amber are really good together, and I don't know.
"Hey, Mark, I'm never gonna sleep with you." Like poor Mark. Like she just she couldn't get it up for old Marky.
It's
Poo.
gotta suck
And Mark
on-
was a great guy.
on that show when they fall for you through the door, and then you
But now
open
she's
the
found
door,
love.
and they're like,
I've been watching her I followed her on Instagram immediately upon watching that show because I felt like she was
edited
know,
poorly.
I just thought like, this woman drank a little too much sometimes
Yeah.
and probably had like I relate to drinking too much and saying embarrassing things. And I thought, you know what, this woman, I'm not making fun of her for that. I'm making fun of her for like doing a baby voice with the guy she likes, and like
Oh, yeah.
that's I actually like this girl because I felt very connected to her as someone who struggles with drinking, and like that's why I didn't ever audition for Real World or any of those shows, even though I would have loved to, because I knew that I would get
my
drunk and
God.
do embarrassing things.
It would have been ridiculous.
I would have been so embarrassed I couldn't live with myself, and so that is so I felt for her. I followed her, and so I've been watching this relationship kind of take place, and I'm really happy for her. Do I think it will last? No.
Are you projecting?
No.
No, I'm kidding.
I don't think anything to be honest with you. I do think Noah, I think you and Avi will last. I do
you.
think that.
It'd
But
be so weird if you said you didn't think
But
that.
honestly, well, I do want to say though that I just don't think that marriages that last until death are quote unquote successful, and marriages that fail or divorces make a marriage unsuccessful. I think that is completely false. And like a lot of times I see couples that have been married for like 55 years and it's like, wow, give it up for them, everyone. It's like they just were too scared to leave. Like that's not, and they didn't brave it out. They sleep in separate bedrooms and they don't talk to each other. That's not like, wow, they worked through the hard times. A lot of times it is what happens, and they go to therapy and they like get through really trying times and they're still in love, and like that's a successful marriage. Just staying married, that ain't successful to me.
Yeah.
You can stay a lot of things. And it's, to me, that's laziness. And that's why I always congratulate people when they get divorced.
I mean, if you're fucking like,
Because it's harder
if
to
you've
do
been
than
with the
stay.
same person, for like 30 years, and you're like 68, 70, and you're like, I'm gonna make a change now. Like
That is brave as fuck.
I know, it's wild. It's wild to think I'm gonna put myself back out there.
I would say that is
Woo.
up there with trans people that decide to make the transition when they know deep down there, like when they put everything on the line, all the fear and the judgments from other people. Like I do think trans people are the bravest people alive. Like to do that. And even if I don't think you're weak if you don't decide to transition, because I don't think that I could do it if I deep down wanted to. It's just so scary, the judgment and like what you stand to lose, and what you stand to, the ridicule you stand to have inflicted upon yourself just because you want to be yourself. Like it's too much. So I think trans people who have transitioned should be able to board planes before soldiers.
Oh. Or trans
Because I think
soldiers.
it's right, or at the same time. Let me just say that, because I think they are just as brave. And people go, maybe you're going to comment like, what? I fought for this country. Like, thank you for your service. Please board the plane early. I like that too. But no, and they just want to be different and get attention. You're such an idiot if you think that. You're literally such an idiot if you think that trans people, like, who would choose? I mean, it's great that trans people should be happy that they're trans, but like, and for who they are. But if anyone thinks someone chooses to do that, to like have their family not think they're like, to not acknowledge them anymore, like people, do you know what I'm saying?
No, I hear what you're saying.
Why? I don't understand why people can't get it. That like that there's a thing that you might not experience yourself, that they're going through, that you might not be able to grasp.
That has nothing to do with you.
But can you grasp the idea of something hard that would be really hard to do, that you wouldn't want to do, but you have to do because it's just so part of you? You can maybe grasp that idea, maybe extend it to that, but like,
I would say that people probably go, their
Yeah.
thought process is, well, negative attention's still attention. That's what they would say. They would go, aren't they getting
Well, you know
getting
what I
a
would
lot
say?
of likes and a lot of outside
okay,
affirmation?
so maybe there is someone that's been trans and they did it for attention. Let's just say that those people do exist.
Yeah.
Even that is like so sad, and I feel for that person,
Yeah, I
that
see what
they
you're
have to
saying.
like, they want attention so bad that they have to do this thing. Like
Yeah.
there's this new trend on TikTok, and this is separate issue. There's a new trend on TikTok where people are like pretending to have autism and like stimming
because it's getting
because it gets
such
attention, or they pretend to have like a disability.
That's what I'm saying, like that kind of shit.
Like even Garrett from F-Boy Island, I couldn't understand why he would want to be a villain. Like, he's signing up for the show where he's lying about who he is. You have to go through the rest of your life, people knowing you're a liar. Like, you're signing up to be a villain. And that goes back to Trump. Like, it's proven now that negative attention equals people will like it and rally around you. I just don't think that someone who's trans that like isn't able to now see their nieces and nephews because because
they get 20,000
and they have to like get injections that cost so much money, and they like have to they have to change their name and like all this stuff. Like, I can't imagine looking at that person and going, God, they just are so desperate for attention. Like, why would you sign up for something that makes you feel more alienated from the people you love in general? Mm-hmm. I just don't get it. But maybe someone can explain it to me. But I don't think that you're gonna do a good job.
So, do we think Jessica's over Barnett?
I bet finally she is, and she really like wishes the best for him. And like, if there's ever a reunion, like, she will talk so high that
dogs will start barking in nearby.
And then she'll turn to her husband and say, "What?
Get me a seltzer, Daniel," because she's not drinking anymore. And so she's like really pounding. Now I'm just guessing. That's the only way I would hope that a man would enter a relationship with her is if she had a handle on her drinking. Sorry, Jess. But and to her husband, let me just say, if you're dating someone and when they get boozed up, you don't like who they are, but they love boozing, and you go, you know what, I can tolerate it here and there. If the person doesn't have a plan to maybe not do that ever again, it's only gonna get worse. It's never gonna get better. If you're dating someone who drinks and then they're mean to you, or you hate the way that they act and they don't ever acknowledge it, and they're not trying to get better, it's only going to get worse, and you're eventually gonna get divorced and hate them and lose half of your money, even if you have a prenup, because I've heard that prenups don't even protect you. Is that true, Andrew? Have you heard the same thing?
Oh, yeah.
Were you even listening?
I was vibing.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, that's what happens when I start singing off key.
This
is karaoke mode. All right. Let's get to Top 1 Bottom 1. This is our Monday segment where we we go around the horn. Me, Noah, and Noah, Andrew, and I correct myself, are going to say our top one and bottom one, least and top favorite thing of a category. Today's category is pets that we have had in our past.
Ooh.
Worst pet, best pet. I can start us off.
Okay. Worst pet?
Worst pet. My dad found a hermit crab on a bike ride in about 1997. It was crawling across the street, and he picked it up and he brought it home to our family. And we were excited because we liked any kind of new pet, right? And we put it in the little terrarium, aquarium thing, and then we got more for it because it needs friends, because we didn't read about how they're not really social creatures. I don't know if they are or not.
They're hermits.
We got more. That's a good fucking point. Oh my God. It's in the name. So my dad got some more leave me alone crabs, so that they could all hang out.
I don't want a family, especially humans.
Yeah.
Crab. I don't know what was wrong with him.
We got some solitary shellfish.
I just want to stay in my room, Mom.
We got
crab.
No crabs allowed, crab. And the B is backwards, like a little sign on a, Little Rascals.
I would drink at that bar outside on a beach.
That is kind of good. So we got a hermit crab. We got more hermit crabs. And then they just started, I hated them because they're spiders in a shell. Like, spiders in a shell, hermit crab. Like, they are terrifying. I didn't like them. I like them now a little bit, but I still, they gross me out, and their eyes come out and their little, tentacles. They're creepy. They're not a fun pet.
And they walk sideways.
I don't like them. As David Spade says, crabs are unsettling. They walk sideways. It's unsettling.
Oh, he says that?
Yeah,
shit.
They're just and they're just I love all animals. I don't even eat crabs, even though it's my favorite food. Hermit crabs are not my favorite food, but so we got these hermit crabs. Long story short,
Did you paint the
No,
shells?
because I wouldn't want to get close to them. Like I wouldn't want to hold them. They're gross. They look like, have you ever flipped over? Have you ever seen the flip side of one of those horseshoe crabs? Oh, and they just look like spiders, just like too many legs. I don't like things with too many legs. And so, so anyway, we just like didn't feed them, didn't clean their cage, and they just started smelling like the pussy you fingered when that got.
Did you tell it?
Yeah, I sat these crabs down and I said, listen, I've been there before too. But they just started stinking bad. And I remember their little dish of like water that you had to put these little like shrimpies in. And it just, everything was disgusting about these things. And they started dying and like of starvation and like malnourishment. And I'm really reluctant to say that because it's like so awful. But they just like I think we all know of a family or we've had a pet that we just didn't treat right.
Yeah.
And it like, one day in therapy and like, when I was first going to therapy, I thought about these hermit crabs and I started sobbing more than I've ever cried in my whole life about how bad, I mean, I could do it right now, about how I just let it, and they weren't my responsibility. I didn't ask for these crabs. I had adults living at home that should have taken care of them and fed them. And I watched these animals die because I was too scared to get close to their cage and change the water and get in there and like feed them. And so I felt helpless and watched these animals like die from neglect and like it is one that's one of my biggest regrets in life is like that I witnessed that and let that happen. And like that's I think what spurred my like obsession with animal advocacy and just like, you know, just that seeing that happen. But I will say that when it got down to like 1 or 2 crabs left, we snuck them. This is another horrible thing we did. We went to PetSmart and we put them in a bag and we put them in cages at PetSmart. We like put them into PetSmart because we knew they'd be taken care of.
You left a baby like
it's like that's do not do that. That happens all the time at zoos and at pet stores. Don't do that. Look for a better way to surrender your pets. Craigslist.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm reluctant to tell that story.
I had to kill soft-shelled crabs when I worked at as a fishmonger. I had to cut their heads off. It was wild, and their arms would still be moving, and I was like, I had to cut them with a scissor, and I was like, I do not want to do this. Okay, man.
What is your? Yeah, no, killing animals. You know what? I was just about to say I felt bad about that telling that story. I don't eat animals, and maybe you do at home. So if you're judging me, you participate in the deaths of many animals if you eat them, and so I'm making up for it now. But Andrew.
All right, kind of in the same vein. My brother decided to buy a Burmese python, which is a snake that gets to about, I don't know, let's say 22 feet.
Jesus Christ.
And he bought this thing, and I mean, it's the most Florida pet ever. I mean, a snake.
What did your parents allow this?
I don't know if he really had a discussion. He just brought home. He also
Younger
had a
or older?
lizard. Older brother.
Oh, you hate lizards.
He had a very fast, like big lizard.
I'm surprised
I don't know
you didn't
what kind
pick
of
that
lizard.
one is your least favorite.
Yeah, the snake was just like we'd feed it mice, and
But that lizard saved you a lot of money on car insurance, though.
He did, and I owe him.
Did the Burmese python help out with homeowners?
He actually, you want to know a crazy story? So we had a drug dealer neighbor.
Yeah.
Who he sold like pot. I actually took acid with him one time. He shot a gun into our house because I think he was mad at my stepbrother, and it went through the snake cage. It didn't kill the snake, but it hit the snake. I mean, what more Florida story than that? A guy shooting.
I mean, that's up there with you getting arrested for speeding on a jet ski in a Mansi's home.
Yeah, shooting a gun into our snake fucking cage.
So what happened to this Burmese python?
So this is what happened. So my brother leaves for college, leaves the snake in care of my stepmom or my parents, and it dies.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how it died. I think my stepmom said that it killed itself by
a shot to the head through the wall.
But yeah, that
fire.
thing. I mean, it's such a big eventually that animal's gonna outgrow your house.
I feel so
unless
sad for
you live in a
animals. Poor
fucking
animals.
mansion. Like,
ugh. This is like a heartbreaking segment. Okay, Noah, do you have a bad pet that didn't die tragically?
we weren't allowed to have any pets when we were growing up, really, except for like a dog. Once we were like, I was a teenager. I always wanted to have hamsters and rabbits and all these animals. We just were not allowed to. But at one point, I started looking into getting a bearded dragon. And I wanted a bearded dragon so bad. And then I didn't get one because when I realized that I had to feed it crickets and I had to like have like frozen mice in my freezer,
Good for
I was
you
like,
doing a little
I'm gonna look like a
research
serial killer.
instead of just letting it starve to death because you didn't want to handle.
Yeah, you buy these animals, you don't think 10 years down or 2 months
and
down
you don't
the line.
think, especially with dogs, people do not realize
how much money it's going to
and cats,
cost.
how much money at the end
and time
it's going to cost.
Yes.
For
sure.
you got to think about all that.
Because you're like, oh, it's a cute puppy.
And just like, it's
Bearded Dragon, such a funny name, man. It's like a goatee cat or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
A cat wasn't a good pull, but like
a mustachioed ferret. Yeah, it is bearded. And like I hate when bearded dragons like you know why they do that though? They don't have chins, and they're trying to look like they have chins.
Oh my god!
So
on Bumble,
they have bad jaw lines. Yeah,
to look more dominant.
on Bumblebee, which is their favorite dating app because that's what they eat.
I'm gonna call my dick the Bearded Dragon from now on.
I was gonna say a pussy joke about it because that does.
I know,
like
it does
looks
sound
like that
like-
sometimes. Okay, favorite pet. I mean, hands down, without a doubt,
Easy.
kiwi.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bird kiwi parakeet I had when I was in 5th grade. He could do tricks. He would repeat things. He was very smart. You'd say flip the bird and he would flip around on his thing, or you'd say do your trick and then he would go to the corner of the cage and put one hand on each side and then flip into the corner of the cage. And it was just like, he was amazing. And he'd pick stuff out of my teeth. I had braces at the time. That was fun. He would like pick on my hangnails, which I loved. I'd be like, eat it. And he would just like rip them out and I loved it. And then, and he also, famously
I'd like
one
to
time.
hear his side of the story on that.
Well, one time he would always talk, I've told the story before, but he would always be like, kiwi, kiwi, pretty bird, kiwi, 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 kiwi. Like that was exactly how he talked. But sometimes he would do like our voices intermixed with it, but that he wouldn't do the voices and the cool stuff unless he didn't think we were listening. He didn't want attention on him. But he was in our kitchen, his cage was in our kitchen. People were kind of like grossed out by it, but we didn't clip his wings. He could fly around. He was just so sweet. And my friends and I would always just have to like sit there at the table next to him and pretend like we weren't watching him and like kind of talk slowly and eat our cereal so that he would start talking, not thinking we were paying attention. And one time me and Huffy were eating Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds, which was our favorite cereal, and like eating, and we were just like being quiet so we could hear him, and he just was like, kiwi, 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 pretty bird, kiwi, Mom, I hate my fucking middle name. Kiwi, kiwi, pretty kiwi. And we were both like, did he just say, Mom, I hate my fucking middle name in your voice, Nikki? Like, we both heard it clear as day. And I don't hate my middle name. He just came up with but he said it clear as day, and we both heard it, and it was awesome.
It's so wild. I mean, how many times do you think he heard you say that over the years? Maybe
he probably
twice?
just heard like, Mom, I hate. And then like, he definitely heard every other word in our fucking house. And then middle name, I don't know. Maybe he said something else, but it sounded like middle name. Like, who knows?
And he did that one time.
Yeah, it was just like perfectly my voice. It was great. What was your favorite pet?
I don't know if this is cheating, but it's actually my older brother's
Scabies that you
dog.
had? Oh. Were those
That's
pets?
actually my least favorite pet.
Were those the soft shell crabs you killed? Ripped their heads off when you pulled them out of your skin?
Oh, scabies is the worst. Scary rabies. I had he's still alive. Hubert. He's an Italian Spinoni dog who I love so much, man. He just reminds me of a maybe because my grandpas are dead and he looks like a grandpa.
I'm a little annoyed that you picked a dog that's not yours, but you didn't pick Luigi or Marion. But also I didn't pick them, so I'll let it slide.
Well, this isn't about you.
I know it's not, but I just want to know, is he better than Marion and Luigi? And it's okay if he is.
He's better
why
than
is he?
one of them by far, and then the other one.
I know. We have a favorite.
I do have a favorite. Marion, I like more than Luigi.
I mean, you can't not. But Luigi's
a silent.
It's because we see ourselves in Luigi too much. He's scared. He doesn't trust. That's at least
Yeah.
why, like, the things I hate about Luigi are the things that I hate about myself.
Yeah, I love that Marion
His
just
dick
goes
comes
for
out all the
it.
time. That's more
what
of a
I
you
love.
thing.
I'm into that. He's the Louis C.K. of dogs.
Okay, so but you like Hubert because he just has like a grandpa energy. What do you mean by that?
He's just kind and
Loving and like wants to bury his head.
Buries his head. He lays down with me in bed.
He likes to snuggle.
So snuggly. He makes when you come into when he hasn't seen you in a while, you come into the house, he'll go grab any toy and bring it to you. He just has to find something.
Cutie.
He's like, I gotta find something for you until you like me.
Yeah, like he's
Which
like, I
is
didn't
kind
get
of
you
my
anything.
energy.
And then
yeah.
yes.
And then and he'll do this thing when you rub his ears. He'll just like he'll make this like this noise to let you know. The one thing he doesn't do, which I really respect, he doesn't lick. He'll never like you can't.
Yeah, whenever Marianne licks, I grab her tongue gently and just hold on to it, and I go, "You're gonna learn." And then she's like, and I don't do it in a mean way. I just like to like.
Oh, I love
if
grabbing
you
a dog's tongue.
Just to grab it. It feels like my vagina, a little bit like it's a little dog's tongue. But
Yeah, so I love that dog.
and I'm gonna have it surgically
My
removed
little
from her
brother's
mouth.
dogs. Just shout out to Tucker, who passed away yesterday.
Oh my god.
Yeah, their oldest dog, which was
rest in peace, Tux.
was a King Spaniard. Wait, what is it? What's it called?
Great way to honor him. Okay, so Noah,
All right.
what is your favorite animal? Is it Buzzy yet, or you got to go with Bruins?
Okay. Favorite pet, Buzzy is working his way up, but it's gonna
Yeah.
be Bruno. And just so
Andrew's still
my
laughing
dad and my
about
sister got
his
Bruno. Andrew,
terrible
stop.
memorial to the great Spaniard or whatever the fuck the dog was. Cocker Spaniel.
Cocker Spaniel. Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
I'm jealous that you can do that with a white sweatshirt. I would get bronzer all over myself. Really enjoy that you can cover your face and keep it covered. Okay, anyway, okay.
I gotta look.
Bruno.
Up this dog. Yes.
So Bruno was my beagle who passed away last year at 15. And when my dad and my sister originally got him, I was like, you can't get a dog, because it was only like 2 months after our family golden retriever got hit by a car and died. And it was very traumatic. And I was like, I don't want this dog. I want nothing to do with him. Fast forward 4 years later, I ended up taking the dog because my parents were just not like
they were
taking
hermit
care of
crabbing
him
it.
like they should take care of. Yes, exactly. And then Bruno's just been like an awesome companion to go through all of life's destructive
Yes.
moments, like through my parents' divorce, through a financial insecurity, through one of my worst breakups. Bruno was always there for me as just like an unconditional
Isn't that
loving
the best
companion.
part about them is like, I was actually picturing Bruno like mitigating or like kind of like mediating your parents' divorce and then like helping you with your like taxes and getting your forms ready and being like, I can help you with these things. And like, I was actually like, oh my God, he's what a talented little dog.
Yeah, sign there.
Yeah.
Sign there. Sign
Yeah.
there. Sign
Sign
there. One more page. Sign there.
Just sign everywhere. There's a paw print. That's so cute.
Initial there.
Yeah, that's
Charles,
the best thing.
King Charles.
King
Spaniard.
Charles. Okay.
Sorry.
Little too late. And
That's for you, Tucker.
final thought. I mean, that's why animals and pets are the greatest, is because they don't care what you look like. They don't care. They don't care about any. Like they don't care that you age. They don't care if your pussy smells. They actually prefer it.
Well, yeah, then they could find you in a room full of 1 million people.
Yeah.
I know where that pussy is.
It's just so sweet when an animal can sense that you need extra like love and like need
crazy.
like they just pick up on they're operating on a level that we aren't even in tune with those kinds of senses of like, because they're so about like being, they're so close to being the you know, they're domesticated most of like, for thousands of years, but they're closer to being in the wild than we are. So like they have instincts, you know, they can tell if a thunderstorm's coming, like they just like can sense.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to realize that like how you are is what your dog is reading you, and they're looking to you to be a leader. And if they're not obeying you, like they don't respect you, and they're reading that. They're reading that you don't deserve respect, and like you don't like that's kind of the thing.
Yeah, everything's like so like they're almost like autistic in a way of like, this is how I feel. about you, and you're.
They do have a little bit of like, Luigi does stuff sometimes that I go, wow, he's acting away against, he's pretending to be something else. Like he'll do this thing where he knows there's a dog a half a block away that he wants to like hang out for, but he knows that I want to keep walking.
Yes.
And he'll stop to smell something and I'll let him smell it. But then I know he's done smelling it, but he'll just keep his nose there pretending like because he knows that I will let him finish his smell, because I learned that you always let a dog finish their smell because it's like pulling them away from a movie that they're really invested in, and you want them to get the ending to it. Sometimes I'm like, it smells like a fucking dandelion, let's go. I like spoil it for them and they're like, spoiler alert. And but sometimes I'll just sense him just like pretending to smell, and I'll go, I know what you're doing. You're waiting for this dog. Like you're lying to me right now. The other night I was about to give them a bath, and I didn't even say it, but I started running the water and like waiting for it to get warm, and Luigi just starts shaking furiously. And he's not cold. I've never hurt him in the bath. If anything, I do baths because he gets so spunky and free after. He loves when I dry him off. It gets him in the best mood. And he smelled, but the shaking was all to make me go, I don't want to do this to you. Like it's premeditated to get a response out of me, and it's not based on how he's actually feeling. Maybe like
it's like when you try to brush my teeth. I'm just like
you start just shivering, and I go, it's not cold in here. I think that animals are just so. Thank God.
Also,
for them.
it's like I think we did the dialogue about the hermit crab and the snake. If we could learn anything, like just because they're ugly creature, like don't judge an animal by their ugliness, or they're willing to do whatever you want them to do, and they're not lesser than these other animals.
Are you gonna stop eating?
No, I'm gonna keep eating snake.
You were starting to sound like a vegan, but for a second there,
I'm just saying if
your logic is very vegan.
I know, but as a pet is what I'm saying. And then look. Thanks for listening to the show today.
Listen, we won't get into vegan stuff, but that was a thing that like when I make the joke of like when I got dogs, that's when I was like, oh my God, every animal is a dog. It's like has that in it, and I hadn't felt that way with my family's dogs. I never felt really connected to, but when Marion got ripped apart by that German Shepherd and was like, I thought she was gonna die. Like the way my parents described it, the way they said that, like,
oh my God, it was brutal.
I mean, this was before we saw the wound, but the wound itself, I was like, she's not gonna make it even after she's got stitched up and like is able to leave the hospital. Like this is gonna get infected. Something's gonna happen. It's not gonna heal. You literally can't even find the scar anymore. I don't even understand how she healed. But I remember I got the call from my mom that Marion was probably not gonna make it, and I was like, I'm just gonna go like pray for her. And I walked in my room, and Luigi's just like in his little bed curled up, and I was just like, Luigi, we're gonna like, Marion's really not doing well right now. And I just like, and usually he doesn't want to like cuddle. He's a little bit like me, like he's just like kind of tense when you try to cuddle him, but he just like leaned into it and like felt that I needed it, and like we sent our energy. Like I knew he knew something was wrong with Marion. I mean, I don't think he knew, but like
he knew through you.
There was something he knew something was wrong, and that we needed to like spend that time and like be thoughtful about her and like send energy out there. And it was just like, and I didn't say like, please God, let Marion live. I just said like, let Marion's fate be exactly what needs to happen, whether she dies or she lives. Like whatever's gonna have the best results, let that happen. And apparently it's that she lived. That's going to yield better results than if she died.
I could see your mom going, just kidding, JD died again. It's not Marion.
And I go,
thank God.
Thank God. He died twice. Oh, good. Guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. We are going to be back tomorrow, Tuesday, with a fresh episode that will be current.
Freshy.
And make sure to, if you're listening, look for this one on YouTube on Wednesday, hopefully. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you comment and like and subscribe. But also, don't actually comment whatever you want. I'm not going to read it, but I do appreciate the subscribe, and I hope you and just send it to your friends if you liked it, or do all of that. I appreciate all the support. I really love you guys, and we'll see you on the road, and don't be and
Jackie Chan.